The interim recommendation passes.
Americans now have a third vaccine to help defend them against the coronavirus now that the FDA has approved the emergency use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine over the weekend.
But this is really good news. That means we have the opportunity for even more people to get immunized as soon as possible against this terrible pandemic.
With the new vaccine shipping out across the U.S. today, some are asking what's the difference of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine from the others available. The FDA says Johnson & Johnson's vaccine is 85% protective against the most severe infections and 66% effective in moderate cases.
It really is not an apples to apples comparison.
But Dr. Rodney Young with the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center says it's not a lateral comparison to say Johnson & Johnson's vaccine doesn't work as well as the others.
The Johnson & Johnson vaccine, those trials were conducted during November, December, January, when now coronavirus activity was very widespread across the country. A lot more cases to transmit and spread around there. It's entirely possible that if we repeated the Pfizer and Moderna studies now, they might have similar or comparable responses to what we saw with Johnson & Johnson.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, weighing in on the subject of comparison in an interview with NBC's Chuck Todd on Meet the Press.
Be careful when you try to parse this percent versus that. The only way you know one versus the other if you compare them head to head. And they were not compared head to head. They were compared under different circumstances.
So should you pick and choose which vaccine you would rather take?
If you go to a place and you have J&J and that's the one that's available now, I would take it. I personally would do the same thing. I think people need to get vaccinated as quickly and as expeditiously as possible. And if I would go to a place where they had J&J, I would have no hesitancy whatsoever to take it.
I think the bottom line would be whatever vaccine you get offered, take it. They are all really good. And the most important thing we can do right now is to get as many shots in as many arms as we can.
And another grim milestone this week, February 29th, 2020 was the first COVID-19 death in the U.S. that was reported by the CDC. At the time, there were less than 24 reported cases of COVID-19 in the country. So far, the virus has killed more than 500,000 Americans. Jed Baker, KAMR Local 4 News.